welcome to the second online lecture. Today we'll talk about cell structure and function. So, in our first lecture, we talked about the level of organization. Remember, we talked about, all the living organisms, the cell theory. You should have learned about cell theory in your Bio 3B lab. And you also talk about cell theory in the lecture. So, cell marks the boundary between the non-living and living. The reason is that we need to have a cell to enclose all the important chemical or molecules so that they can react with each other without the disturbances of the external environment. That's the main reason we need to have cell. And inside a cell, we have different structure, and different structure we have different function. And there are two types of cells: prokaryotic, eukaryotic. Karyo means nucleus. Karyo comes from the word kernel. Kernel is like the what happens is that when scientists look at a cell under the microscope, they can only see a dot. The dot that they see looks like kernel. That's why they call it a karyo. Karyotic means the nucleus. The black dot that they see under the microscope, they are the nuclei, the nucleus of the cell. Pro meaning that it is the primitive, the original one. Eukaryotic, eu means true. That means a true nucleus cell. Pro, that means a primitive nucleus cell. What does it mean? Why do we call it primitive nucleus? Because it is the cell does not have a membrane-bound structure, meaning that inside the cell, it doesn't have a specific organ. But eukaryotic cell, they have membrane-bound organs. In eukaryotic cell, inside the cell we have organs. Each organ, they have their separate membrane surrounding it. So we human body, we all have this eukaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cell, they are mainly bacteria or archaea. We'll talk about archaea later. So remember, inside a cell, we have different organs, different structure. They have membrane surrounding, then we call it eukaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cell, they have organs, but they don't have membrane surrounding. So this is the history of the cell or the microscope of the cell. I do not test you on the exam, but this is just for your general education so that you know more about it. Anton van Leeuwenhoek. He is the one that invented the first microscope. Robert Hooke is the first scientist that invented this term cell. He looked at the cork, just like the bulletin board, the cork, under a microscope, and then he saw a repeated unit, then he called those cells. And Matthias Schleiden looked at plants, and he also saw the plant made of cells. Theodor Schwann is important because he discovered a lot of different stuff, including Schwann cell. We'll cover in the nervous system at the end of the semester. He looked at animal, then he also saw the animal is made of cells. Cell theory is important because you will be tested in the lecture for sure. I guarantee to test you on this, and I guarantee that in your Bio 3B lab, your professor will also test you on the cell theory. Some of the professors claim that cell theory only has 2 bullet points. Some claim that it has 3 bullet points. I give you 3 bullet points so that it will cover everything. So first one is that all living organisms composed of 1 or more cells. 1 or more cells, because we have unicellular organisms like amoeba. They only have 1 cell, 1 organism. Or multicellular organisms, just like human beings, just like us. Cells are the basic living unit of living organism. What it means is that we are composed of cells. And then cells come from other cells. This does not tell you the origin of the cell, but it only tells you that if you have a cell, it must come from another cell, previous cell. So these 3 points are important. You have to memorize them. Cell size. We have different size of the cells, okay? If the cell is around 1 millimeter, then you can see by your eyes. Frog egg is about 1 millimeter. If it is less than 1 millimeter, then our eyes cannot see it. If it is most of the cells, they are 1 micrometer. That means you need to have a microscope to see them. The question is to you is that what is the largest cell that you see? I would say, I hope that you see this largest cell every day. This is important to you. What is the largest cell that you see every day? I hope some people, they don't see it every day. I'll tell you the answer in the next video. So this is the scale. This is the scale. Human being is about 1 meter long. And then frog egg is about a little bit larger than 1 millimeter. And then you have human eggs. And then in here you can see that as long as it is this, you can see it with the human eyes. And then this scale, approximately from 100 nanometer to 1 centimeter, you can use light microscope. And then whatever is smaller, then you can use the electron microscope. But you cannot use electron microscope to see atom or molecules, amino acid. You can see protein, but you cannot see amino acid. So this is the limitation. So most of the cell we can see with the light microscope, which is what we will cover in our Bio3D lab. So how come cell is being so small? What is the advantage to it? Advantage of it is that nutrient can go into the cell. Nutrients such as glucose, waste is like CO2 or carbon dioxide or urea. They can exit the cell. What is the advantage that allow the nutrient and waste to go in and out of the cell? It's because of the surface area. Surface area, when the cell is small, it will give you more surface area when you have a multiple number of cells. When you only have one big cell of the same volume, you will have less surface area. So what does it mean? Yeah, this is the good one. This is a good one. This one, they all have the same volume, but this is one big cell. You have 8 cells here, and then you have 64 cells here. Which one will give you the most surface area? Of course, it's this one, because each one has its own surface, and then they all have the same volume, but this one will give you the most surface area for exchanging the nutrient and waste. So that's the main reason we are multicellular organism. There's an advantage to it. It facilitates the exchange of the substances. Now we talk about prokaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cells, as I said, that they do not have the membrane-bound nucleus. They do not have membrane-bound nucleus. Eukaryotic cell, we have a membrane-bound nucleus. So the nucleus of the prokaryotic cell, they only have the chromosome or the DNA material lying naked in the cytoplasm. But the eukaryotic cell, we have a membrane-bound nucleus. We have a nuclear membrane surrounding all the chromosome or DNA.